Childhood, after reason has begun his way, seemed to us the happiest season of life. It is also a critical period. At this time, they receive those impressions and contract those habits which impel them towards the good and true or towards the evil and false. The shy soul is without character. It is a rudimental existence, pale as the driven snow, beautiful as a cherub angel, spotless, guileless, and innocent. It is the shot of a man yet to be filled up with the elements of a character. These elements are first outlined by the parents. With what delicacy should they use to conceal or personal influence? The soul is soft, and the lines they make are deep and not easily erased. It is a man they form, responsible work. It is an immortal soul they work upon, destined to survive the wreck of matter and crush all worlds, and to show in its character forever some disinterest, at least, for the work. Never believe anything that concerns children to be of no importance. A hasty word is of consequence. The little things that they see and hear about them mold them for eternity. Observe how very quick the shy eye is to perceive the meaning of looks, voices, and motions. It peruses all faces, colors, and sounds. Every sentiment that looks into his eye is reflected therefrom and placed in miniature or its countenance. The tear that steals down the cheek of a mother's suppressed grief gathers the little infantile face into a sob. With a wondering silence, it studies the mother in her prayers, and looks up with her in that exploring watch which signifies unspoken prayer. If the shy be tended with impatience or coolly, and with a lack of motherly gentleness, it straightway shows by its action that it too feels the sting of just that which is felt towards it, and that it is angered by anger, fretted by fretfulness, irritated by irritation, having impressed upon it just that kind of impatience or ill nature which is felt towards it, and growing faintly into the bad mood as by a fixed law. However apparently trivial the influences which contribute to form the character of the child, they endure through life. Those impulses to conduct which last no longer and are rooted the deepest always have their origin near our birth. It is there that the germs of virtue or vice, or feeling or sentiment are first implanted which determine the character for life. It is in childhood that the mind is more open to impression and ready to be kindled by the first spark that fly into it. The first thing continues always with the child. The first joy, the first failure, the first achievement, the first misadventure paint the foreground of life. Influence is as quiet and imperceptible on the child's mind as the falling of snowflakes on the meadows. One cannot tell the hour when the human mind is not in the condition of receiving impression from exterior moral forces. In innumerable instances, the most secret and unnoticed influences have been in operation for months and even years to break down the strongest barrier of the human heart and work out its moral ruin, while yet the foundest parents and friends have been unaware of the working of such unseen agents of evil. Children are more easily led to be good by examples of loving kindness and tales of well-doing in others than threatened into obedience by records of sin, crime, and punishment. Then strive to impress on the child's mind sincerity, truth, honesty, benevolence, and their kindred virtue, and the welfare of your child, not only for this life, but for the life to come, will be assured. What a responsibility it is to form a creature, the frailest and feeblest that heaven has made, into the intelligent and fearless sovereign of the whole animated universe, the interpreter, adorer, and most representative of divinity. There is much mistaken kindness in the management of children. The law of love is great, but it showeth not its full strength. Save when united with kindness, make your children helpful and useful, and you make them happy. Let them early form habits of neatness, and when you are weary, you will not have to wait on their carelessness. Teach them to give you courteous speech and manners, and they will live to honor you. take pains to have the home attraction stronger than can come from outside influences. It is a sad fact that few children confide in their parents. The parent must take an interest in them and draw them to their hearts instead of repelling them away. There is no mystery in attaching children to oneself. If you love them, they will love you. If you make much of them, they will make much of you. They can readily pick out the children's friend among many. They have a quick way of discerning who really love them and who care for them. Parents do not think how far a word of praise will oftentimes go with children. Praise is sunshine to a child, and there is no child who does not need it. It is the high reward of one's struggle to do right. Many a sensitive child hungers for commendation. Many a child starving for the praise which parents should give, run off eagerly after the designing flattery of others, to withhold praise where it is due is dishonest, and, in the case of a child, such a course often leaves a stinging sense of injustice. One may as well think to rear flowers in prose as to think of educating children successfully in rebuff and constant criticism. Judicious flattery is almost one of the necessities of existence with children. Indiscriminate flattery is, of course, bad. When it's become necessary to reprove children, use the gentlest form of address under the circumstances. Reproof must not fall like a violent storm, breaking down and making those to droop whom it is meant to cherish and refresh. It must descend as the dew upon the tender herb, or, like melting flakes of snow, the softer it falls, the longer it dwells upon, and the deeper it sinks into the mind. Never reprove the little one before strangers, for children are as sensitive, if not more so, than older persons, and wish strangers to think well of them. When reproved before anyone with whom they are not well acquainted, their vanity is wounded. They have self-respect, and such mortification of it is dangerous. Praise spurs a child on to earnest effort. Blame, when administered before visitors, takes away the power of doing well. It is the parent's duty to make their childhood full of love and childhood's proper joyousness. Not all the appliances that wealth can buy are necessary to the free and happy unfolding of childhood in body, mind, and heart. But children must have love inside the house, and fresh air and good play and companionship outside. Otherwise, young life runs the danger of withering and growing stunted, or, at best, prematurely old and turned inward on itself. There is something in loving dependent children, in tender care of them, which bestows upon the soul the most enriching of its experience. They make us tender and sympathetic, and 1,000 times reward us for all we do for them. We are indebted to them for constant incentive to noble living, for the perpetual reminder that we do not live for ourselves alone. For their sake we are admonished to put from us the ravishing appetite, the unworthy impulse to gather into our lives every noble and heroic quality, every tender and attractive grace. We owe them gratitude for the dark hour their presence has brightened, for the helplessness and dependence which have won us from ourselves, for the faith and trust which it is evermore their mission to renew, for their kisses wet with tears, placed on brows that, but for their caressing, had furrowed into frowns. The gleeful laugh of happy children is the best home music, and the grateful figures of childhood are the best statuary. They are wellspring of pleasure, messengers of peace and love, resting places for innocent links between angels and men. Their eyes, those clear wells of undefiled thought. What is more beautiful, full of hope, love, and curiosity, than meet your own? In prayer, how earnest in joy, how sparkling in sympathy, how tender. The man or woman who never tried the companionship of a little child has carelessly passed by one of the greatest pleasures of life, as one passes a rare flower without plucking or knowing its value. It is like a lantern and no candle, a garden and no flowers, a vine and no grapes, a brook and no water glittering and gushing in its channels. Nature affords striking proofs of foresight and wisdom in making the bonds of parental sympathy so invincible, strong, and lasting. During childhood and youth, and even afterwards, when these charming epochs of life have passed away, the ties of constancy and attachment continue to prevail. Were not the cords of love thus strengthened, they would frequently be snapped asunder, for the surest trail which the world knows are those which assail the parental heart and pierce it with the deepest sorrows. How fleeting are the happiness and innocent guilelessness of childhood! The years as they come bring with them intelligence and experience, but they take with them, in their ceaseless course, the innocent pleasures of childhood's year. Then deal gently, patiently, and kindly with them. You may be nearly over the rough pathway of life yourselves. Make the only time of life that they can call happy as pleasant as possible. O children, says Madame de Staël, who are tenderly reared by us, are soon destined for others than ourselves. They soon stride rapidly forward in the career of life, while we fall slowly back, then soon begin to regard their parents in the light of memory, and to look upon others in the light of hope. They will not trouble you long. Children grow up. Nothing on earth grows so fast as children. It was but yesterday and that lad was playing with tops. A buoyant boy, he is a man now. There is no more childhood for him or for us. Life has claimed him. When the beginning is made, it is like a revealing stocking, stitch by stitch give way till all are gone. The house has not a child left in it. There is no more noise in the hall, no boys rushing, pell-mell. It is very orderly now. There are no more skates or slates, bats, balls, or strings left scattered about. There are no more gleeful laugh of happy girls. There is no longer any task before you lie down. But the mother's heart is heavy, and the father's heart is lonely.